Gentlemen, how are you all doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Happy for Dortmund. You know,
So
and that's actually what I want to start off with. Can everyone in the chat listen? I know you guys want me to talk on Mbappe, Dembele, all of this stuff, and I will. But can we just get clapping emojis in the chat for Borussia Dortmund? Because Dortmund, absolutely incredible achievement from them. So let's just spam clapping emojis in the chat for Borussia Dortmund because they were absolutely incredible over the two legs. They deserve to go through. And I agree with Terry. I'm gonna always root for the underdog. You know, when it comes to Borussia Dortmund in the final, regardless who they play, I'd want them to do well. Even though it would irritate my soul that Poch authors would make it a Madsen conversation. You know, Poch how he sold Madsen. But anyway, make sure you guys are congratulating Dortmund first before anything. I thought defensively they put on a performance. And I actually agree with Terry, to be honest with you. When you watch this PSG game, it's not like, okay, so this is an own goal, to be fair, but it's not like Liverpool against Palace, where it's like we missed so many chances and we could have won 6-1 and all this. Like, they didn't even create that many dangerous chances or anything. And you know, people wanna talk about Mbappe, but I want to talk about a different player. I want to talk about someone called Ousmane Dembele. You know, Saad was part of conversations that I've had on Spaces about Ousmane Dembele and how he's better than this guy and better than that guy. And based on ability, he's so good. And because he can dribble so well and he can do so this. You know, Terrace said, football is not ballet. That's what he always says. It's not ballet. It's not about, you know, who can dance to the night, do the nicer swan or whatever it is. Like, I don't know what the hell they do in ballet, you know? It's about delivery.
A plie. They do a plie. That's the only word I know from ballet.
Today, Ousmane Dembele was by far PSG's worst player. 100% by far their worst player. Even Mbappe, with the expectation level, I'm still saying Dembele was worse today. Absolutely dreadful every single time, whether it be in front of goal, whether it be I need a cross from you, whether it be I need a pass from you, just everything. Everything today, Dembele just had an absolutely dreadful performance. Kylian Mbappe is another one. The reason why, you know, people are going, listen, here's the thing. I actually realized this. I was like, you know what? This guy almost made France beat Argentina on the final. And if Colum won, he just took that chance there at the end. Like that whole history would be different just with Mbappe. So I'm not going to go into Mbappe like crazy. But today he just did not perform well. He just did not perform well at all, to be honest with you. And he didn't perform well in the first leg either. You know, Kylian Mbappe did not perform well in the first leg either. You know, so that's another thing. And you look at this game today, I don't necessarily think it was like a masterclass by Dortmund or anything. I just think PSG have that form of like nonchalant energy about them. Like, yeah, we're gonna create a chance eventually and we're gonna score, but it never came.
Too casual.
Yeah, too casual. They're so casual. Like, can someone tell them this is the Champions League semi-final?
Yeah.
At least now, when Madrid win the Champions League this year, it might be the last Champions League they win after Mbappe moves there. He might be the bad luck curse for that competition. I'll be honest with you. So, yeah, that's what I think of the game. And massive credit to Dortmund. Massive credit to Dortmund defensively. Mats Hummels was incredible. He brought back the Hummels we knew from 10 years ago. You know, like 2013 Hummels was on display. 2014 Hummels was on display today. Absolutely incredible performance from him. And Dortmund defended really well. And by the way, this is all you have to do. You take a 1-0 lead to the Parc des Princes, you defend, and when you take your chance, you get your chance, you take it. Simple as. But congratulations to Dortmund once again, because as much as we want to speak on Mbappe and Dembele and PSG and how disappointing it is, we have to say congratulations to Dortmund. And I'll just say one final point before I let Saad and Steve also tell us, of course, their opinions. I'll just say one thing. I think this PSG experience has to teach us that scapegoating the manager 24/7 does not actually provide an actual solution for the football club. Luis Enrique, Carlo Ancelotti, Pochettino, Tuchel, Unai Emery, so many managers have managed PSG and actually failed to win this competition regardless of money spent, because the direction is different at the club. They're not pulling all in the same direction. I was thinking about this, Terry, and you know, this is the thing that this is genuinely the bottom line conclusion that I came to. You go to France, regardless what you think of Deschamps, he has a specific system and style that goes, it's like a well-oiled machine. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, and 4, and that's it. And that's how they get to finals. That's how they win the competitions. But then you go to PSG with Mbappe there, but the machine is not well oiled. The machine relies on individual brilliance and individual ability, and no one really is playing for the team. It's like, okay, let's just go get the best this and the best that and the best this and the best that, and hopefully it works. I don't think Enrique should be scapegoated. I don't think Enrique is to blame per se. I'm actually fully looking at the players today, and I think they need to be held accountable. The likes of Dembele and Mbappe. Big money spent on you, deliver.
Do you know what I think's interesting about that point? I think there's been occasions in the past where when you have certain managers like Ancelotti's, I don't remember why all of them left when they did. I don't remember that. I haven't looked into it. But a little bit like when Chelsea got rid of Ancelotti, you're talking about one of the greats. It's premature. You leave him in. But what I will say about PSG, I've only read small amounts about this year, but it feels like they're going for a slightly different approach now. Buying younger players, bringing through their talent. If you're doing that, and that's your approach, you have to give a manager some continuity, unless you are regressing heavily, unless you are performing badly week in, week out, unless you're breaking very unwanted records at a staggering pace. You are right. That's when you look at a manager and say, well, okay, we've got to give him time, because you almost have to build a culture that doesn't back the manager every single time, because there are moments and instances where they've got to go. But I actually thought PSG, this was less about them bottling it as we've seen in other years, and more about, I just don't quite think they're good enough yet, if that makes sense. Like, it was almost like they just weren't quite good enough. And I think to get better, it isn't about sacking Enrique. I think it's about these younger players getting older, and then again, having another good summer and adding quality to the team.
Yeah, I agree with you, Terry. It's about play. That's why, what did I say? The key statement was players actually playing for the team. Like, let's all be a well-oiled machine together, and let's try to get to a specific certain objective. And I just opened up right now just to kind of literally prove my point even further. The last 7 managers at PSG: Luis Enrique, Galtier, Pochettino, Tuchel, Emery, Blanc, and Ancelotti. That's the last 7 managers that's managed PSG. You cannot tell me that all 7 of these managers suck, because Carlo Ancelotti's had a future after that. Unai Emery's had a future. Tuchel, I don't rate him, but even he has had a future after that.
Won a champs, yeah.
Well, he went to Chelsea and won a champs.
Like all of these managers have delivered. Luis Enrique was the last manager to be there for Barcelona to win a treble. And if your excuse is going to be they had Messi, well, so did the other 5 who didn't win it with Messi. So let's not do they had Messi. So obviously Luis Enrique is off a certain level, and I completely agree. Just sacking Enrique now doesn't take them anywhere. Winter Surfer sent to Super Chat is 100% correct. Ousmane Dembele is one of the most overrated players we've ever seen. Why do we always scapegoat the manager and ignore the players? Where was Dembele today? PSG paid X amount of money for him. Deliver. Why didn't you deliver? That's the thing. By the way, quick stat before we let the others time. And I'm sorry, I spoke for long.
There you are.
Andy Robertson has the same amount of goals in the Premier League as Dembele has in the Liga. That's Andy Robertson.
Yeah.
Andrew Robertson, who I've been ranting about all year long and I want sold, has 3 Premier League goals, and Ousmane Dembele has 3 League A goals. Musa Tamari, my Jordanian winger, has 5 goals in League A.
Yeah, Al-Tamari. Yeah.
Exactly. Sam, what's the difference between Dembele and Anthony from Man United? There's no difference for me.
There you are.
Two-footed.
I would
took it too far.
I would. You know what? It's. Yeah, he's obviously at PSG. He has been better. He probably has been better. I'm actually going to get those stats up, right? I'm actually going to get those stats up.
That's actually crazy, bro.
If Anthony,
I can't say Mudryk, because Mudryk scored more than Dembele this season, man.
Hang on a sec, guys. I'm just going to look here. If Anthony, hang on a minute. So Dembele at PSG has got 5 goals and 14 assists. Anthony has 11 goals and 5 assists. So, I mean, his stats are better, but at the same time, Anthony doesn't even have why it's worse for Dembele is that Anthony doesn't have Dembele's ability.
Yes.
So it's one of those things. Anthony is overall worse than him, but in terms of how good you are on ability versus how regularly you deliver. And also, by the way, I'm gonna be shameless.
Oh boy!
I think Anthony would do well if he went back to the Eredivisie. I think he could do well if he was in these certain other leagues. The Premier League is different.
I don't disagree at all. With Anthony. I think if he went back to Ajax, I think he'd be just fine. because like maybe that's just his level. To be honest, it's like Serginho Dest at PSG. Like that's his level because AC Milan didn't work out, Barcelona didn't work out, but there he is. But anyways,
what was that player's name? Oh, was it Southampton? Then he went to Ajax. Tadic. Is it Tadic?
Dusan Tadic.
Yeah, Dusan Tadic.
He went over there, and he even in the Champions League, he looked like a baller. So yeah, sometimes just certain leagues, but yeah, look, Dembele, like excellent ability. What a wonderful young talent. He just hasn't fulfilled the promise.
I'm not surprised at all.
And you know what it is in Liga? He plays well, but it always is those it's decision making, his lack of composure, and his vision and kind of final ball in the final third. It's always just so poor. But everything else before it is really, really good. But that's the problem. You can't have that guy as your out and out starter if you want to win a Champions League. And that's why Barcelona don't have him anymore. But yeah, overall on the game, I predicted a Borussia Dortmund that they would get to the second leg. I knew that all they needed was the 1-0 win in the first leg, because I was just like, they're gonna be able to defend this well. Because to be fair, in every Champions League game this year, they've been underdogs except for the 2 PSG games, and they've done well in all of them pretty much, except the times they played Paris Saint-Germain in the group stage. Really?
What? The PSV. I love how you do the V like you're Dutch.
Only Steve would know that. Only Steve would know that.
Yeah.
That is great.
But yeah, Dortmund. I mean, shout out to them. I would love a Der Klassiker final.
Yeah, no, they did brilliantly. They did brilliantly. I'd love that. Saad, what did you make of tonight, mate?
Well, firstly, I just want to start this off by saying I am not surprised with anything to do with Ousmane Dembele. I expected this from him. He is talent, but no finish. He has no finish. Oftentimes he makes the wrong decision, but he's got plenty of talent on the ball. On the ball, he's brilliant. He can move the ball. He's got quick feet. Exactly. He's the definition of based off ability. Based off ability, he's a great player, but there's no finish and there's no player. The only thing, I'll tell you what, the only thing that has surprised me from Ousmane Dembele is that he's played 39 games in all competitions. That's the only thing that has, in Hussam's words, this guy is on a first name basis with the nurse, bro. In Hussam's words, bro, because he literally is injured most of the time, bro, and he plays 5-10 games a season. Bro, he plays 5-10 games a season. I'm not surprised, bro. That's the only thing that surprised me is he's played 39 games, bro, in all competitions. I'm like, whoa, that's a lot of games for him. That's a lot of games for him. But listen, I think Dortmund absolutely deserved this. I think they were. I agree with what Terry was saying, man. You can't always say that a team in possession. And this is what you try to tell certain fans, especially Tottenham.
Thank God Pep ain't in this competition anymore. Thank God.
Bro, thank God, bro. Thank God. But listen, this is the thing. Like I tried to tell this to Spurs fans as well. Just because you have possession, you have all of the ball, and you're flopping all of your shots doesn't mean you're in full control of the game. Because I felt like most of the dangerous chances came from Dortmund. Dortmund looked like the dangerous team. They looked like the team that wanted to make a
really good save.
Yeah, and even when there was a run that Fulkrug, I think is how you say his name, Fulkrug. He was running with the ball, and literally all he had to do was turn to the right and pass it to Jadon Sancho, but he made the wrong pass, unfortunately, and they wasted that opportunity. But they could have been maybe 2-3-0 up, and PSG did not look at all in the mood to score at all. They didn't even look like they were going to score. They were just hitting the bar, loads of loose balls in the box where they were trying to get on the end of it and they couldn't. I mean, Mbappe, I know, listen, Mbappe is a world-class player and he's one of the best players in the world, yeah? One of the best players in the world. But this is what has hurt PSG for a minute, is when the going gets tough and you need someone to just pull you out of that hole, none of the players step up. It's been like that for years and years and years. None of the players want to step up. It happened in the final. It happened in the semi-finals that they've had, the quarters. They've gone out in almost every part of every knockout place or position in the tournament, bro. They've literally gone out in every single one. Whenever the going gets tough, bro, they literally don't go over the line, man. And this is just a PSG thing. I don't know whether they got bad luck. The owners are going to be fuming because, like you said, they've been pumping so much money into PSG to win this one competition.
Yeah,
They don't care about the league.
I think it's one of. I don't think this year as much they will be because they have kind of done this reset and they're going for they're actually going to start using their academy players and buying young individuals and growing a team rather than going for the kind of let's go out and buy 5 I mean, the Galacticos thing is funny because Real Madrid tried it and it didn't really work. Man United tried it after Fergie and it didn't work. PSG, again, I think if you're in a one-horse race league, the Galactico model will win you your league title and domestic trophies. I don't know what it is. And I'd love to speak to like real football experts that are involved in the game and have maybe even been in those environments. There's something about, maybe it's too many egos. Maybe it's too many people want to be the star. I know last year for PSG, you can't have your front three all not wanting to work defensively. You could maybe have one player that gets away with it if their output's really good. But you need, and that's what I was impressed with when it comes to Sancho and Adeyemi. Is both of them over 2 legs. They work hard. They get back. They get in shape. And if they don't do that, they just stand around lounging. You lose. You can't win these types of games. And it was excellent to see.